Hello and welcome along to the On the Whistle podcast. I'm your host, Zayn, Nabbi. And with me today, I have the man with the chrome dome, the man with the knowledge, the man with the skill, Courtney Freese. Courtney, how are you doing?
Zayn, I'm absolutely fantastic. Really doing well. I've just come from a run this morning. My torn quad that I picked up 3 weeks ago is improving. We're still top of the table. I've been drafted into the squad for this weekend. I think I have to play. We only got 12 players. I make number 13. We are good to go, Zayn. We are good to go.
Amazing. Well, rest up, and take that injury well. And for those of you listening out there today, this is going to be a pint-sized pod. It's going to be bite-sized. We're going to get to the talkers really quick, really fast. But we're doing it differently because today's pod really is dedicated to the legend of South African football that is Gavin Hunt, a serial winner in what is now the DStv Premiership. Before that, he was winning the Premier Soccer League titles at SuperSport, where he built a dynasty. He had a further success at Wits. Courtney, for those out there who don't know who Gavin Hunt is, set the scene. Why is this man a legend? And why is this weekend going to be a seminal moment?
Well, Zayn, firstly, Gavin Hunt is looking at his next game being his 1,000th as a football manager. Now, not many managers will go through that. To be able to hit 1,000 games as a manager anywhere in the world is a massive achievement. To be in the game for that long. But if you go back to the days when Gavin Hunt was the manager at Seven Stars, that was more or less the time when I was playing. And I never saw this in him. Honestly, I didn't. But he starts to slowly and organically construct a career in management, really move through the ranks to become a learning coach to a really experienced manager of teams, also changing with the times, Zayn, not being stuck in this Jurassic Parkness of what managers were like in the old days. He's at the forefront of managing in the modern era of football, and Gavin's been on our show before. So he had his 999th game in midweek. They won 4-1 away to Kaizer Chiefs.
A high-flying
Gavin hasn't been going through a fantastic period with SuperSport at the moment, but the thing about Gavin's teams reflect Gavin.
Sure.
He just put on the day 4 goals. It could have been more. Kaizer Chiefs at home really got a tonking. But Gavin goes into the weekend facing his 1,000th game. And, you can almost hear him. It's not about me. It is about him, saying, because not many people achieve this.
So, Courtney, I reported in South African football when Gavin was arguably at his prime with the SuperSport dynasty. The football was intense. The football came up the wins quickly, and there was continual pressure in the box. The counter to that is it's very direct, and it isn't necessarily total football, building from the back. The wizardry and artistry you might see from a Guardiola or Ronaldo Mokoena or coach who are committed to those principles. Do you think that takes in any way away from what Hunt has done and his legacy? I would argue not, but just playing devil's advocate here.
Zayn, he doesn't have to play that way. And football is not only played that way. And football that is credited and looked upon in a very positive way is not only played that way. You don't have to play from the back. If you ask me, I think playing from the back wastes a lot of energy, if I'm being genuinely honest. I don't understand this concept that the goalie needs to be able to play from the back and pass it around and pass through the team. I don't understand it. It is a very energy sapping long way to play. That's just my thoughts. Gavin doesn't play that way. Okay, that's fine. Nothing wrong with it. He's been successful playing his way, getting the best out of players who sometimes are not cracking it in clubs on the peripherals of being good. He's getting maximum out of players that do well for him. His style of play is direct. His style of play gets results. SuperSport, Wits University, and let's count Kaizer Chiefs. But like Spurs did to Mourinho, they fired the man before he could get to the final and play this thing. So Gavin Hunt has cultivated a way of playing, like I said earlier, that reflects him, but also he gets results.
Courtney, we certainly wish Gavin an awesome 1,000 game. It's historic. I guess before we wrap up this pint-sized pod, do you think there is the potential for Hunt to achieve more success in South Africa, be it in cup competitions or the league. I ask that knowing Sundowns is dominant, Pirates is undergoing a resurgence, and of course the fact that Hunt won a title with Wits, which you could possibly argue was bigger than what he'd done at Supersport, because there he had created a team that was on an upswing, whereas the Wits win was a little bit of an anomaly. So I guess my question to you is, does he have still does he is there something still left in the tank for him to be successful and lead teams to cup or league success?
I'd like to say um, Gavin Hunt still has, and the opportunity is coming, Zayn. I think Gavin Hunt has an opportunity to lead the national team. I think he
Mhm.
would be
That's a great shout,
my
actually.
next manager I look at. Okay. Ross is doing a good job. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
Hugo
argue
Bruce
that.
isn't going to go
I
anywhere.
don't want him to go. Don't want him to go.
Sure.
But obviously, doing a good job could attract other suitors. So it's going to happen. Okay. Uh I think Gavin Hunt has a door there that needs to be opened. But whether the South African national team, because you must remember, we've had Gavin on our show. Gavin is an ordinary, simple guy that maybe some people just don't want around. I don't understand. This a highly regarded manager who's very good at his job. Why would you not be looking at him? Because what Gavin also gives you is what he told us, saying, he says, hold on, if you give me this job, I'm also going to bring someone in as my succession plan and give them that maturity. So for i.e., Benny McCarthy later on becomes a manager. He works with Gavin. Gavin's there to support him just so that he has a sounding board on. So I think the Bafana
You're
job,
really hoping for the national team job.
I would love
Sure.
him for the national team job. He's got no frills about him. No frills about him. But what he does have is that, you know, the job I work in, Zayn. I'm going to give an
Sure.
example. So I was speaking to a teacher the other day. Two schools, similar schools. But the one school is getting better results than the other school. And I'm saying to the teachers, but how come you're in the same place? The context of your schools aren't that different. You know, you've got equally good teachers here. Why you're getting such different results? Cohorts can be different, so let's start there. And the head made a fantastic point. The head said, forget about being a very good teacher and learner. Forget about that. Teaching and learning, forget about that. We're both good at that. Forget about the resources that we're providing. Forget about that. Forget about the personal development opportunities we provide the pupils for. Forget about that. He said, what my teachers do is that they make the children want to come to school and make the children want to walk through walls for them. And not all teachers do that. That's Gavin Hunt's strongest strength, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Makes
So
the players
he's a
want
player's
to play
coach.
for him. He's a player's coach, say. You can see that the players want to play for him. They want to go through walls for him. Because you
Mm-hmm.
must remember, SuperSport don't pay the salary Sundowns pay or
Mm-hmm.
Pirates pay. But he's got players there pulling up trees
Mm-hmm.
because they want to play for Gavin. They buy into his concept. And it's not a great formula. Listen to what I'm saying to you. It's not a great formula. Just make them feel that you want them there. They have your respect, and they will kill themselves for you.
Yeah, and isn't that the
Metaphorically.
mindset to have? No, of course, of course, of course. Courtney, it was wonderful doing this pint-sized pod with you. Really appreciate it. And Gavin, sending you lots of love from the On the Whistle podcast. We hope all goes well in your 1,000 game. It's an incredible milestone. We know you'll come back. You'll sit around the braai soon enough. And yeah, you're more than welcome to join us. And before I go, I actually have a few viewers' comments to read, Courtney. And this is from one of our loyal listeners, Adam Aziz. He listened to our CAF Champions League group stage roundup, and he said, real men like Alistair prefer CAF Champions League football to any other event. Dot, 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 dot. Adam, we know you're a big fan of African football, and so is brother Alistair, who's not here today. Thank you for your comment. And finally, we have Citizen of Earth 7319. I'm sure that's your real name. Listen, we love the comment that came next. You said, great analysis. Please keep posting more CAF videos. The quarterfinal draws up. I hope my team Al Hilal avoids both Egyptian heavyweights, Al Ali and Pyramids. Actually, Pyramids is the toughest team in the last 8, and you guys deserve more views. Well, listen, we couldn't agree more with you there, Citizen of the Earth, 7319. However, I have bad news. Your team is playing Al Ali in the quarterfinals, and we wish you well for that.
I was just thinking to myself, it's not what he wished for, but it's what he got.
And we certainly will preview those games. We'll give you all the analysis. We thank you for your comments. We thank you for consuming our shows on YouTube, on your various podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Acast. And of course, if you want to get in touch, hit us up, OTW_podcast on X, formerly known as Twitter, and also Instagram. And don't forget, if you search for the On the Whistle podcast in YouTube or Facebook, you'll come to us, you'll find our group. All the best, Courtney. Thank you for your analysis today. And for those listening out there, leave a comment, leave a review, leave a like. It helps people find the show.